Hey guys, Jake here from the Dead Horse Beaters. I'm introducing this video because I am not in this video. Matt ran the whole show. He did all the recording. So this was shot over a couple of days, and you'll kind of see the progress of where we are right now. This will be the last video coming out before the race at New Jersey, which I believe is the 12th and the 13th of May, which is like a week and 2 days from right now. So we're going to hold off the reveal for the race for everyone who wants to see it. If you want to see it first, go to the race, come check it out.
I could go left and right. This wasn't actually tested? Yeah. So this is the test? Well, we don't know if the dent in the bumper is going to screw us. Yeah. Well, it looks like it is. You got like 2 inches on that side, and we're hitting on this side. Dog home before it gets dark out. I have to chase him in the dark. Tea, drink sugar, we'll keep drinking sugar. I'm going for coffee.
I'll have tea with honey.
I'm alright, thanks.
You don't want anything?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Tea with honey. Okay.
What's going on, everybody? It's Matt here again with Dead Horse Beaters Racing. It's already like 9 o'clock. We've been at the shop just about all day already, and still going to be another couple of hours. We got a lot of things to try to finish up tonight before we head home. I would have started recording earlier, but just found out Jake's not going to be here, so I recorded a little bit of stuff, and I'm sure Jake will edit that all in here. I'll give him the clips, but hadn't really talked about the build at all. I figured he would do that tomorrow, but I'll take you guys through a little bit of what's going on. As you can see, the bus is over here, and as you can tell, we have the beginnings of a door. So here's the back door all framed out. Nothing's welded in yet, just lifted it up there in place with the forklift and kind of got it, clamped in place roughly where it's going to get welded in. There's going to be a nice seam weld all along this where the floor meets. Hopefully that'll help straighten out the floor. It's a bit warped. We also got these little chunks here to try to, get it actually welded in all around this entire frame. So essentially the door is inside of the frame right now. There's just kind of like L channel, that'll be the frame. And then the tube is the door down here on this hinge. Right now we got 3 of these springs on there. It actually might be a little overkill, so we'll have to do some testing once it's welded in. See how strong those springs are. If anything, we want them to be a little weak. Make the door a little heavy rather than having it kind of float and try to lift up when we don't want it to. If you're wondering what these brackets are for, these are actually going to help us latch and lock the door once it's all closed. Just a place for some carriage bolts to be drilled through. The bumper had to come off. As you can see over here, the previous owner must have had a little accident at some point, so we weren't able to actually drop the door in with that in place. So we'll have to bend back out the bracket and get that all sorted out so that that can get reinstalled and protect our door. Alright, let's take a look inside of where we're at. I know it's probably pretty dark, but not really too much different. All here to see. Bulkheads still all welded in and everything. We did take down a couple more panels, just the very front panel still in there. Going to be replacing this with something that looks a little nicer, some wood paneling or something like that. Still finishing up, kind of cleaning up. Everything kind of got dirty again when we took the panels down, but trying to prep for paint so that we can start putting down some plywood and then some flooring. In the back, I don't think we mentioned the ramps going in, but these have been, I think they're all completely welded in at this point. Andrew just finished grinding down some of those welds so that the plywood can actually fit on top. Right now, Alex, Andrew, and Eric are all making a Home Depot run for some plywood. So we'll have some plywood to distribute the load and have the car actually be able to ride on. We got an aluminum sheet that we'll be using for the outside, for the outer skin. Pretty much the main update in here. Again, still trying to kind of fill all these holes and get it prepped for paint. Prevent any water from making its way in. We had like one rainstorm that we took that test drive through, and it was already starting to puddle up. And with the back being cut open, we've had surface rust all along the back. We got to clean up pretty much every day that we work on the bus. So hopefully we'll get this door on here tonight and be able to kind of keep most of the weather out, and then potentially even move to a shop that's a little bit closer to where the majority of us are. And then instead of just having to wait until the weekends, we'll be able to actually work on this thing, during the week after work, whenever we got time. It definitely looks like it's rough, but it's just about at the point of being functional. I mean, some major things to finish up, but as far as the number of things that have to be done, it's coming down to the last few things. A little update for the outside of the bus. We got the cubbies below the deck here, the little belly boxes kind of cleared out. There's actually a hole where some of the lines for the air conditioning ran through. We're gonna have to patch that up before we can paint the floor and get some plywood on there and everything. So like I mentioned, the bumper is currently off. We'll get that all situated eventually. It always amazes me how much space there is under these things. I mean, they're essentially just two frame rails with some cross braces or stringers, whatever you want to call them, across the top. It's super simple, super like modular and everything. Speaking of tons of room, still got this cutout where the air conditioning came out of. I don't think there is a plan for it yet. I kind of like the idea of having a grill. I actually picked up an old grill that we had. It wasn't going to get used, so we got a free grill. So hopefully we'll be able to make that slide out somewhere. But
Really rigid now, but it seems nice.
Yeah, I worked it. There's a lot of water. That's not a good start. What was that start?
I don't know.
Because we're not supported underneath yet, so this is not really strong.
Oh, I know what it is. It's the frame. When it comes out the frame.
so the frame for the door is all welded in. Kind of tested it out. Letting the door down. It seems like the 3 springs are actually going to be about the right amounts, especially once we put on the extra weight of the plywood and the outer skin. Still have to do some reinforcing on the bottom, just to make sure that the hinges actually get fully supported. We got the fan blowing right now. It's a little noisy, but it's pretty stanky up in this bus. Andrew and I just laid down the first of the paint here. Now that all the holes are all welded up here, finally have a nice, completely solid area to paint over. Protect it from any, future rust or anything like that. So we started with the one side just so we have access to walk back and forth, then we'll move everything over to the other side and continue with the other side. That way we'll be able to kind of button up this front area and start actually making this livable. You'll see that there is still one rather large hole here. That's actually for the, it's either for the fuel pump or the fuel sender unit, or but it's a little smelly, so I'm gonna get it out of here. But you know, still making progress. I don't even know what time it is. I lost track, but it's dark and no signs of stopping yet. A little follow-up to the last video, the last clip. I just checked the time, and it's tomorrow. It's actually tomorrow 35 to be exact. Yeah, who knows how much longer we'll be here tonight, and then we'll be back again tomorrow, or I guess I should say later today, to continue. We're trying to get the back door for sure as buttoned up as possible, get it, you know, weather tight if we can, but definitely get it road legal, getting taillights on there and everything so that we can actually drive this to our closer shop location for a lot more of the smaller interior work and things like that. The last of the major fabrication is going to be the door. Hopefully we'll get that all out of the way this weekend, and then, you know, be on our way to actually turning this into a nice livable camper mobile home slash garage. It's going to be pretty awesome. And with that, we got hinges fitted up. So a little preview of how the door is actually going to be closed and locked when the race car is parked in there and we're driving down the road. Got some tweaking or manhandling of the door frame in the back. We let everything cool after everything got all welded up, and it's a little tight in the frame. One other quick thing, if you guys are skeptical of how much weight and how kind of small the framing is on this, for the ramps, you wouldn't be alone. I was actually surprised at how much this holds, but I mean, get on here and it's not budging too much. Plus we got all that plywood back there. It's going to help distribute the load. And I mean, it's got a corner of the car spread across the entire contact patch of each tire. That's some technique for you.
Almost needs a bigger.
Alright guys, so it's a little after 1:30. We're getting to the point where, you know, progress is getting slower the later it gets, so I figure we call it a night, come back later today technically. About to head out and grab some food and some extra hardware, do a quick walkthrough. Paint up here seems to be pretty dry. You can kind of tell that the side that we did yesterday is already kind of getting dusty and dirty, but at least it's not bare metal and exposed rust, so that'll definitely be a lot better. We got plywood all cut down to size, so this stack over here is all going to run along the ramps. Some of them have to get cut down to the length, but essentially it'll have pieces coming up the ramp and then cut a piece short to fit exactly getting up to where this kind of transitions from the angle to flat, and then we'll have to cut this one to length as well. It's just a little bit long. These two larger pieces will go for the door, so you can kind of see this brace going across the center. That's going to be the division, so the bigger piece is going to be on the bottom there, and then the smaller piece on the top, and that'll form our floor. Right now we're getting these little pipes ready to weld in. This is going to be for hammocks, so essentially we'll have another pipe that drops straight down in here, and it'll come up, and then we'll have hammocks that can run that way, another one running this way, and then the same thing on this side. Some of the hardware that we're picking up is for this track here. Tie the car down, have, you know, some flexibility if we're putting different cars in here that are all different lengths, different wheelbases. Should be all good to go. Our goal really is to put a car in here and actually drive it on. Adam's the one with the most experience here for sure, driving vehicles of this size with air brakes and everything, so if we can load up his Versa and have him drive it there, unload it, and then drive the Versa home, that'd be perfect. But that's our goal, and we'll see later tonight how we do with that. The bus is nice and toasty now thanks to this heater blowing directly in the side door. Since I'm so far ahead, we'll come down here and see what Andrew's working on. So, up under the bus, we just got some through bolts essentially, just some quarter 20s that are dropping down through with some big fender washers just to kind of spread out the load. Since we are just kind of going straight through the sheet metal, we decided against going into the actual ribs. So, a whole bunch of lock washers to be put on, and then I'll hop back up top and tighten them all down. Again, we still need a handle and some steps here, but there we go. So now we got a little more light. You can kind of see the E-track in here. So this rear one on the passenger side is what we're working on right now. So still got, you know, some loose bolts and everything, but we'll tighten these all down. It's just kind of temporary installation for now, just to, you know, test it out. If we need to, we can go to the first race like this, but eventually we'll paint this floor once all the holes are filled and all the surface rust is taken off, just like we did up in the front. It's looking real nice, glossy black up there. Eventually it'll be nice like that in the rear as well. Alright, so hopefully you can hear me over Alex's grinding over there. We got all of the E-tracks all bolted in, good to go now, ready to hold down some race cars. Just got the bumper slotted back in. We got to bolt it back up. Like I said, there was a bracket back there that was all kinds of bent up, so we were able to press that back into shape. And now it'll actually clear. There's some supports going down here that allow the springs to have something to kind of push against those who are interfering with the bumper. So got that straightened back out. Now the bumper's going back on. Alex is over here making some slots in the door. It's going to be for these ramps. These will be the first thing that the car hits when it's being loaded. So these right here will hook into the end of the door. So you'll go from up the ramp, up the door, then up the ramp, and then get strapped down on the E-track. One last update before Andrew and I got to head out. So we got, like I said before, all the plywood cut out for these ramps. Cut the little pieces that need to go here, and then the last piece where it flattens out is also a little bit long. But I mean, it's definitely looking more and more like it's actually capable of hauling a car. It's been pretty amazing progress this weekend. I mean, the difference between when we started on Saturday morning and what it looks like now, just got a hell of a lot done. So this is actually my second time recording this outro. I tried to do it last night. Or should I say this morning at like 2 a.m. when I got home from working on the bus, but the combination of being dead tired and slight, you know, disappointment over not actually loading up a car and taking it for a drive. So I figured I'd give it another shot today. Got a nice solid 3.5 hours of sleep, feeling much better. We got the bus to finish up, and then we got the race car to put back together. So it's going to be a lot of work over the next, 2 weeks getting everything ready, but it's definitely going to be all worth it when we're riding down to Jersey in our prison bus with a race car in the back of it, and then, actually driving at Lemons. Hopefully we'll finish just like New Hampshire and maybe go a little bit faster this time. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We actually got to make some visual progress, so hopefully you can, actually see a difference between the beginning and the end of the video, not just a whole day of grinding. If you did enjoy the video, definitely give us a like, subscribe if you want to. I mean, there's a whole bunch more content we can be adding. Definitely gonna keep it up with the progress on the bus. In addition, we might throw in some work on the race car, and then we all got our own side projects and whatnot, so maybe we'll start doing some of those too. So if you got any comments or anything like that, definitely leave feedback in the comment section below. We're both new at this, so definitely learning, and any feedback is much appreciated. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.